Hello guys, welcome back once again. This video we will look at converting a string into a datetime in C# or the .NET framework. Parsing the strings to convert them to datetime objects requires you to specify information about how the dates and times are represented as text. Different cultures use different orders for day, month, and year. Sometimes representations use a 24-hour clock. Others specify AM and PM. Some applications need only the date, others need only the time. Still, others need to specify both the date and the time. The methods that convert string to datetime objects enable you to provide detailed information about the format you expect and the elements of the date and time your application needs. There are three subtasks to correctly convert text into a datetime. First, you must specify the expected format of the text representing a date and time. Secondly, you may specify the culture for the format of the date time. And last, you may specify how missing components in the text representation are set in a date and time. The parse and the try-parse methods convert many common representation of a date and time. The parse exact and try-parse exact methods convert a string representation that conforms to the pattern specified by date and time format string. The current datetime format info objects provide more control over how text should be interpreted as date and time. Properties of a datetime format info describe the date and time separators and the names of months, days, and eras. The format for the AM and PM designations is a current thread culture provides a datetime format info that represents the current culture. If you want a specific culture or custom settings, you specify the iFormat provider parameter of parsing a method for the iFormat provider parameter specify the culture information object, which represents a culture or a datetime format info object. So rather than just making too much noise, we just get into it and try to understand it better in code. So stay tuned. And the first bit is obviously we create a string inside our console application. And this will be a string. We're just gonna say date, and this will be January 20th 2019. So this is how we're going to do. We're gonna say daytime con date. Obviously, con means converted, not anything bad. Daytime here. Daytime daytime dot pass, and then the date input. The date, yeah. So here we will just try to run it to see what comes out of it. So we're just gonna put our date in here, and we F5 it. So as you can see, we've got the conversions done correctly. So, but if you notice, you've only just got the day, the time, it is fine. But there's one more thing we gotta do. So as you can see, when we actually we converted it, we only got the date because we just printed out this date, so we have to actually print out the con date, the converted date, so that we can get the converted date. It was actually a mistake on my part, so bear with me. So we just wait for it to. So as you can see, we've got it converted into a .NET Datetime object. So it is very simple. So the next bit, of course, is when you look at adding a culture info. So instead of uh, instead of just the date, we're gonna pass it with another one more parameter. So we're just gonna use a culture info. So we're just gonna put info is equal to new culture info. So we passed en/US. So basically, we use the US format. So we pass the info as well. So this what happens. So we're just gonna F5 again and see what comes out of it. We've actually set our culture info to the United States, so we get the date format in a US way. So as you can see, it's very simple stuff. So last but not the least, there's one more thing that I will show, but I think it's still not necessary. I'll actually give you an example to go and do it on your own spare time. So once we're done with this, what you could do is just look at. So now we are using only the daytime.pass. So we could try the try pass and pass exact and try pass exact. So you could do that on your own spare time. So but for this tutorial, I'm just gonna leave it here and continue on the next stage. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do, and have a lovely day, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Bye bye.